Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Promising Pittsburgh Steelers starter could move to new spot. Indianapolis Pittsburgh Steelers defensive lineman Keanu Benton could be moving from nose tackle to a new spot. Benton, who played most of the year at nose tackle, has the experience in college to play out to 3 technique, 4-eye, and 5 technique. The question ultimately becomes, will Benton move? General Manager Omar Khan hinted it was possible, as the team thinks highly of Benton, but would only give a slight clue as to what the team might do at defensive tackle. At the very least, Benton's flexibility gives them options. KB has the flexibility to play anywhere on the defensive line, Khan said. Benton has sometimes struggled to anchor against double teams in run defense from the nose tackle spot. His most productive snaps have come split out, and with Larry Ogunjobi's uncertain future, Benton could move to a new spot on the defensive line. Yet, who is available for the Steelers and how that board might ultimately be the biggest indicator on just how the Steelers will go about attacking their need on the defensive line, which will dictate where Benton plays. Tim Benz, Omar Khan's 4-letter word that puts George Pickens' future with the Steelers in a new light. It's amazing how one little 4-letter word can change the scope of an entire conversation. No. I'm not even talking about one of those 4-letter words. The word I'm talking about is pretty basic, here. That's it. The word here. When Pittsburgh Steelers president Art Rooney II was asked about wide receiver George Pickens' maturity issues as he enters the last year of his contract, Rooney didn't use that very small but very important word. George Pickens is a very talented player who has room to grow. We'd like to see him grow. Hopefully, he realizes the potential that he has, but definitely room for growth there, Rooney said. Again, note that Rooney didn't say, see him grow here, or hopefully he realizes the potential he has here. Or with us. Or in Pittsburgh. With trade rumors swirling around Pickens since the season ended, many people noticed that slight, but glaring, omission from Rooney on January 27. Similarly, people picked up on the fact that coach Mike Tomlin also talked about Pickens' maturity issues at his season-ending news conference and stopped short of fully endorsing the idea of giving Pickens a long-term extension. That's why General Manager Omar Khan's comments about Pickens and the potential of a contract extension for him at the 2025 NFL Scouting Combine were so intriguing. I had a really solid exit meeting with GP, and I can tell you that he has a desire to be great, Khan said Tuesday in Indianapolis. He has a desire to be great here. We have a desire for him to be great, and to be great here. With respect to the contract, we won't discuss that publicly, and usually those things are addressed at a later date. The use of here, twice, sure does stand out, doesn't it? And it sure does seem intentional. Also, if the contract is going to be addressed at a later date, that suggests to me that a potential trade of Pickens in advance of the draft, or as some part of the calculus heading into free agency, isn't on the immediate agenda. I'm not sure what part of his Pickens meeting seemed to resonate so well with Khan when Tomlin and Rooney didn't paint such a glowing picture. The only theory that I can concoct is that it wasn't actually Pickens' exit meeting that was really solid. Maybe it was a few phone calls with his agents, and perhaps Pickens' contract extension demands aren't as outlandish as many of us assumed they'd be going into this offseason. Or Pickens and the Steelers could be on the same page, and neither side thinks they are best served extending a contract now. It is possible Pickens' reps think there will be a better market for their client in free agency in 2026, and the Steelers may want to see if they can get through 2025 without any more migraines from him during, after, or before games. Then again, this could all be one giant smokescreen. This could be Khan sending up a bogus signal flare to the rest of the league, hoping they believe a contract extension for Pickens is looming and that they better act fast with a tantalizing offer to Pittsburgh ASAP. After all, a year ago in this same setting, Khan told the world he had full faith in Kenny Pickett. 2 weeks later, Russell Wilson became a Steeler, Pickett went to Philadelphia, and Justin Fields was about to be acquired from Chicago. Believe what you want. But I know Khan spoke a lot about the quarterback situation Tuesday and said very little. One answer, and one 4-letter word, said a lot more about Pickens' status. Steelers select RB Omarion Hampton in Bucky Brooks' latest mock draft. The NFL offseason is fully underway with the NFL Scouting Combine starting this week and the 2025 NFL Draft just 2 months away. That means it's mock draft season. The Pittsburgh Steelers have plenty of routes they could pursue with the 21st overall pick, whether they choose to beef up their defensive line with a big tackle or add some explosiveness to their passing game with a first-round wide receiver. But in his latest mock draft, former player and NFL Network analyst Bucky Brooks has the Steelers going a different direction in the first round. The Steelers need an elite running back to impose their will on opponents in the way Mike Tomlin and Arthur Smith envision, Brooks wrote. Hampton is an A-plus talent with the size, 6 foot, 220 pounds, athleticism and raw power to thrive as a workhorse in a ground-and-pound offense. Our latest videos. While it might be surprising to see the Steelers selecting a first-round running back who isn't Boise State's Ashton Jeanty, Brooks isn't the first analyst to have the Steelers landing Omarion Hampton. Todd McShay paired Hampton and the Steelers in his latest mock draft, and Daniel Jeremiah ranks him as the 19th overall prospect in the draft. Hampton checks off pretty much all the boxes for an NFL starting caliber back. He's got the size and strength to run between the tackles 15 times a game, and he's got enough speed to beat defenders outside and break big runs. He was a true workhorse back for North Carolina, racking up over 250 rush attempts, 1,500 yards, and 15 touchdowns in each of his last 2 seasons. The question is whether he has the tools that could make a truly great NFL running back, not just a good one. As we wrote in our profile of Hampton, he might not have the top-end speed to outrun NFL defenders, something Najee Harris struggles with. Other analysts have referenced his inconsistent vision. He's a really strong running back prospect, just not an elite, Grand Slam prospect like Bijan Robinson or Ashton Jeanty. With Najee Harris likely gone this offseason, the Steelers will need to add another strong RB option to replace him. Jaylen Warren can split carries and catch passes, but he doesn't have the size or talent to tote the rock 20-plus times per game. Most analysts expect the Steelers to grab a running back in the draft, just not in the first round. This running back class is considered one of the deepest ever, indicating that a lot of NFL teams could be really happy waiting to take a back until day 2. While Hampton going in the first round is picking up steam, there are other options, like Iowa's Caleb Johnson and Ohio State's Travion Henderson, with explosive playability who will likely fall to the 2nd or 3rd round. It'll be hard for Omar Khan and Mike Tomlin to justify drafting another first-round running back when there are so many other pressing needs for the team that were revealed last season. That being said, if Arthur Smith and Mike Tomlin want to double down on their claims last season and turn into a team that bullies defenses by relentlessly pounding the rock, drafting another first-round running back might not be the craziest thing. And are you a fan? What do you think of the Omarion Hampton situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.